From 2014 to 2017, Apple looked like they were running out of ideas, with many calling the iPhone 7 and 8 the iPhone 6SS. On the surface level, it's hard to blame them for thinking this, as the designs were strikingly similar across the three, with subtle changes coming along the way. Some even being negative, like abandoning the headphone jack or moving to a more fragile structure, but more on that later. Following the successful iPhone 5S, in 2014, Tim Cook gave the big reveal of the iPhone 6 at the time, having a larger screen and being the thinnest iPhone yet. I'm going to be honest, the design was pretty rough in my opinion, with the odd-looking antenna bands making it look cheaper and less like something Apple would design. It had some other issues as well, being very weak with a bendable structure, and the 6 Plus was most guilty of this, but I can kind of forgive that since this was the first time Apple made a Plus model iPhone. A year later, the iPhone 6S came out, looking identical but fixing most of what was wrong with the previous model, reinforcing the structure so it wouldn't bend or break, a stronger chip with an extra gigabyte of RAM, and the ability to shoot 4K video. The 6S would be a fan favorite and receive the most amount of software updates for an iPhone yet at 7 years. The event for the iPhone 7 rolls around and it looks very disappointing with no grasping new features. They did take away a few things though, such as the headphone jack to prop up their new AirPods and turning the home button into a haptic press. The design was much improved looks-wise though, as the antenna band didn't stick out as much, the symmetrical speakers at the bottom looked better, and the camera was a bit larger. There was no iPhone 7S, and Apple rushed to create the iPhone 8 to make the iPhone X's name sound slightly less confusing. Having another similar form factor to the last three phones, I think they perfected the outer design portion of it, featuring a new glass back and a better red design than the strange one found on the iPhone 7. They also added the True Tone display. It could shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second, had a quite faster chipset, and was the first iPhone to support wireless charging thanks to back glass. The back being made of glass, though, caused it to be slightly less durable than the iPhone 7 due to shattering. This isn't the first phone to be made with glass, though, as the iPhone 4 wore it back in 2010. And as we all know, there was no 8S because later that year, the iPhone X would be released. While these iPhones look similar in size, there were many subtle changes and advancements in design, as well as internally. Some things even changed for the worse, like the sacrifice of the headphone jack. But one thing that did stay the same throughout was the screen, surprisingly, which had kept the same size and resolution throughout these models for the most part. And even being on more recent iPhones like the SE Gen 2 or Gen 3. So with that, I'll end the video and I won't waste any more of your time, but if you enjoyed the video, I would recommend pressing the like button so I know what content I should produce in the future. Goodbye.